from the Shiloh farm. It's Sunday, July 31st, early in the morning, and it's been about, 2 weeks since I've done a farm update, so a lot has happened. Some bad things happen, some good things happen, and overall it's just been super busy. So let's dive right into the farm update. So the sweet corn is looking much better than it was a few weeks ago. Remember with all those Japanese beetles that were in here? They were tearing everything apart, so they did eat a lot of the silk, but we're still getting some corn, so we've been enjoying delicious sweet corn, the national vegetable of Nebraska. I love it. The Native American corn over here is looking pretty good as well. You can see it's starting to silk out, and we'll have nice decorative corn there soon. The apples, the bugs really did a number on those leaves, but the apples themselves are looking nice. So I'd say in another few weeks we'll have quite a few apples. There were some that have been dropping. Let's see. Oh yeah, I just stepped on a rotten one. They've been dropping some of the rotten ones, but they are starting to turn here. I had a nice, yeah, look at this. Colors are starting to turn. So we will have apples here soon. Rhubarb is starting to die off, which is kind of sad, but I think these two will survive. The third one just died. The grapes were a real disappointment for me. I quit weeding, honestly, over here because this is as tall as they got, and this is the best looking grape we have. Otherwise, they were completely taken over, and we got nothing. Like, look right here. There's nothing. There's one little leaf from the bottom here, and that is it. So, not happy with my grape production. The pumpkins and gourds are coming on pretty good, though. I did some weed eating in here, and I'd say in the next few weeks, this place will be completely taken over by vines for pumpkins, gourds, and squash. This is probably my favorite thing to look at in the garden right now. These are the purple sunflowers. They are just gorgeous. Look at that. I love it. Neat thing about sunflowers, everyone calls them just like, well, they all think they're a single flower, but it's actually made up of thousands and thousands of flowers. So each of these little things is a individual flower, which is kind of cool. Moving on to the tarp, I'm gonna grade this year's tarp experience as a B-. We're still gonna get some produce, but things have not looked great. I don't know if this is a sunlight issue here with these just never growing, but I mean, you can go back and look. I think this has been the same size as it was 4 weeks ago. Just really hasn't done anything, especially these peppers have not grown. There's a few bushes right here that look well, but like coming down to this one, what the heck? Why are you so tiny? So tiny. It's like it just doesn't want to grow. But there is some peppers growing on a few of these. So we got some little bell peppers developing, just not very impressed. And then likewise over here with the squash and everything, I don't know, vines are dying and they just don't look great, but we will get some produce off of it. I saw the other day a little watermelon growing, so that's exciting. Got a nice little baby watermelon. What I'm going to do is stick some cardboard or some straw underneath this to protect it. Oh, look, there's another little baby. Little baby watermelons are just adorable. So we'll get something. Just not as pleased with this as I was last year, that's for sure. Kind of the same way with tomatoes. We are getting to pick quite a few cherry tomatoes here off of our cherry tomatoes, but we were dealing with cracking. So had like a huge heat wave, kind of a drought. We didn't have water for a few weeks, and then we got like 2.5–3 inches of rain. And when that happens, you end up with this cracking on these tomatoes. I just did a video on that. So we had to pull pretty much all the tomatoes that we had to try and prevent that cracking and splitting. But we do have some nice ones that are coming. I think right over here I've got a really nice, yeah. I'm really looking forward to this big boy right here. This one's huge. So that'll be good. Tomatoes we'll have a pretty good crop of that we can do some canning and salsa. So looking good on the tomato side. On the raised garden beds, our strawberries are still going strong. We talked to a lot of people around here actually that have had their strawberries quit growing, but ours are still, they're still all blooming and producing great. So I don't know what we're doing different, but our strawberries are doing really well this year. I've been very pleased with those. This cut box is kind of crazy. I'm not going to say that I told you so to my wife, but I think planting the sunflowers was maybe a bad idea because it's gotten a little out of hand. But the flowers themselves are really pretty. I just love these zinnias. I think these are cosmos. I don't know what these are. I'm not a flower expert. Oh, I love these strawberries. So these sunflowers are a little different. I'll show you guys inside the house. We picked one yesterday. They're really cool. This is the sunflower that we grew. It's called a double sunken sunflower. We got it from Baker Creek and it's beautiful. It's so cool. We also got these zinnias from them too. The candy cane stripe ones. I've been learning to love flowers more. As a man, I'm not afraid to admit it. I think they're pretty. And my wife was right. We definitely needed more color on the farm. Even if we can't pick these and get food from them, they do look nice and they're great for pollinators and beneficial insects. So good job, wifey. Sweet potatoes. A few weeks ago, I think all you saw was just like a little row of green. They have really taken off. Sweet potatoes are in the same family as the morning glories, that vine on the arch right there. So they're gonna vine all over the place and they're doing pretty well. I trimmed this whole area. Got a little Dr. Strange thing going on there. This whole area used to be covered in branches, but I did some trimming. That's why the truck is here. I just pulled the truck up and trimmed some of these branches off to try and get some sunlight here. Because what we're gonna do, we discovered this just was not getting enough sunlight. So we're gonna put blueberries in this box. And I transplanted all the strawberries that were in here. And we're gonna do asparagus. So we're gonna plant asparagus today. And I gotta get some blueberries ordered. I think we're gonna try and plant blueberries whenever we get those in. But I gotta do a little more research on which ones work best for our climate. I got carrots. And carrots, they have, remember how I said I was gonna save these for seed? You can see that they have indeed put on seed. So pretty soon we will cut this off and stick that in the bag. But we've been getting a decent amount of carrots off of this. Let me see if I can go down here, and this one's not gonna be a good carrot, but these are the purple Rouge carrots from Baker Creek, I believe. So they're kind of cool, kind of neat. And then broccoli. This has been really fun. We have just been picking, like we just did a big harvest yesterday, picking off all these side shoots. So like the main stem, we took off there probably a month ago. And then we took off another little stem here. But these side shoots will continue to grow. So you'll be able to cut things like that pretty much all summer long. Celery, we got 2 or 3 of these already harvested. It was really potent, super potent these stalks were. I'll probably do celery again, but it wasn't like a huge success. I didn't spend a lot of time here or pay attention to what I was doing. This was just kind of more of an effort to try it. And yeah, I'll give it a B. I'd do it again. Then we've got okay, I'm really confused here. I'm pretty sure I planted radish. I should have checked my notes before I started this. This is radish. So we planted radishes in this box. We planted, I think, 4 different varieties. And I don't even think I planted these in my last farm update video. So I think it's only been 3 weeks that I planted these, but they are already off to a hot start. A very quick growing crop, something that is great to grow in the fall. And then check this out. This is a Chinese long bean. This is probably a little too mature, but I wanted to save it for this video because I thought you guys would love it. Check out how long this is. I'm gonna just try to hold it up. Isn't that crazy? Hey chicken, you're out of your pen. These were the beans that the goats got to, but this one survived. It climbed up, escaped the wrath of the goats, and we've got a couple more that are actually growing, but I just think that's a really neat bean. Potatoes. This second box of potatoes is doing so much better than the first one. We've got, I think I dug up one. Yeah, here. Dug this one up yesterday. That I think, get out of the way there. I think these are going to be a much better than the first box that we had. So I'm excited about that, but I'm going to let them, I could harvest them now, but I'm just going to let them as long as they're green. I want as big of potatoes as possible. So I'm just going to let them keep growing until they decide to die. This purple basil has been super excellent. Like, it's really got good flavor. I would almost say it's a little sweeter than the green basil is, but we've been drying a lot of herbs and spices the last couple weeks. So lots of basil, and we harvested the parsley, some thyme we've been drying down. So that's been good. Here we planted, I got to get my mind straight. Broccoli. No, this is cabbage. Okay. So we did some mesclun, some arugula, and then cabbage. And then in this box is where we did the broccoli. So we did broccoli, we did broccolini, and then Romanesco, and something else right there, I don't remember. But we did plant all those, and then we got a new crop of beans. Green beans are really nice because you can plant them late and they'll still produce. So our frost date here is like in October. It's July 31st, so we've got a good 2 months left of growing, and so not too late to plant those beans. Then we harvested the onions off of this box and we planted carrots. Wow, this is crazy. Normally it takes like 10 days for carrots to germinate, but we've already got carrots germinating, and we just planted these 4 days ago. So that's really good sign. What are you doing? Get out of my box. Shoo, shoo. Shoo, shoo. You're gonna eat all my carrots. This is where I harvested the onions, or the shallots, sorry. This is a shallot. It's a little bit different than an onion. They don't get quite as big. I still wish our shallots would have got a little bit bigger, but it is what it is. The garlic we're gonna plant here. So I got the garlic ordered, and we'll probably put that in. It's a little early yet. I'm probably gonna put the garlic in sometime in September there. And then last but not least, I really love these arches, but I'm a little concerned about the morning glories. Morning glories are just awesome, but they take over everything. They, once they go, they really go. So like this clematis here, we've had forever, right? This was one of the first things we put in, but look how tiny and spindly it is. It is growing, but it hasn't really taken over as much as the morning glories have. So that is it for the raised garden section. So here's the worst news of the week. We were hanging out with Bluebell last Saturday. The kids were holding her. There was no issues whatsoever. And we came out Sunday morning and she was passed away in the corner. Okay, so we talked to some friends. I know y'all are going to be like, why didn't you take her to a vet? Why didn't you, I don't know, do more? But I'm not going to pay to do an autopsy or anything like that. So what I did is we did talk to several people around the area that said the conditions we had with the heat. Remember I mentioned we were in a heat wave. The conditions that we had in that heat wave and then getting all that rain was perfect for pneumonia, especially in little goats. And so I think that's maybe what happened. I don't know. She was perfectly fine literally the day before, the evening before, and then came out in the morning and she was gone. So really sad. That was Susie's baby right here. Susie lost her kid, and it was the first kid that we had born here on our farm. So pretty sad, a little depressing, but that is part of farm life, I guess. Someone that didn't die is Little Red. Little Red is still alive and kicking. At least he was last night. So as long as I don't come out here and he's plopped over dead. No, he's over there in the corner. Supper time! Here she comes. Look at that. And all his pride and glory. Super majestic. Come here, buddy. And Mr. Chipotle. So I don't think I've explained this before, but Chipotle's our male sheep. And he is out here by himself, no females, because we're trying to keep him away from the mom. I don't want them to breed yet, because if they breed now, I don't want her to be having her lambs in the middle of winter. So he's separated from the females right now, just until probably October-ish is when I'll put him with her. So in the meantime, we just have this nice little group of bachelors, plus these two keep each other company. And then the only reason that we have Dolly in this pen by herself is because she's the only one that respects the electric fence. The other goats don't, they don't care. They jump right through it. But Dolly does a good job of knowing where she belongs. So she gets to stay out here in the nice green pasture and not eat hay. One of the things I really want to focus on this year is either fixing or just getting a new chicken coop. This was a converted garden shed. We didn't buy this. This was just here, and it was an old shed where he parked supplies and more of like a tool shed. But like the window just busted out, the paneling's coming off. It's not great. So I really want to focus on that this year with the chickens. But otherwise, they're all doing well. The newbies, like these two right here, these were the new chicks we had. They are all fully integrated amongst the flock and doing well. I left the lid open the other night, so all my food got rotten. So I'm not gonna feed them that. Let's see, did I have some in here? Nope, that's empty too. I'll have to go grab them some new food. But what's up? How y'all doing today? You're hungry, huh? You're super hungry. We should probably get them fed. So first, I really didn't like these 40-pound bags because I like buying 50-pound bags better. But I found out a 40-pound bag fits perfectly in our feeder, so now I kind of like it. So the other thing that's been taking up my time is this dark and spooky root cellar. So we've never used this because it was all just kind of gross. But I reframed this, put in a door, and now it's full of spiders and dead animals and rotten food. So we got it cleaned up. What I got to do now is figure out how to get rid of spiders. So we put some food in here. We're going to try and get some shelves. I got a dehydrator or a dehumidifier running so that we can finally put our onions and garlic and potatoes and squash down in here eventually. Well, that's going to do it for us this week at the Shiloh Farm. As always, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, advice, tips, whatever, just comment that below. I'll read all of them and I really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see y'all next week.